Hey everyone, welcome to Kate's Kitchen. Today we're going to make one of my absolute favorite desserts. Unfortunately, my favorite dessert is more associated with the summer nights around a bonfire, but we're going to go ahead and bring it into our cozy kitchen to make us excited for nice warm nights. If I haven't given you enough clues to guess what my favorite dessert is, then the answer is s'mores. This is a tad bit different than your traditional s'more though. We are going to make them in a muffin tin and create s'mores cups. A muffin tin could also be classified as, if you look at it, let me grab it, 1 second, as a cylinder if you were to cover the top and bring this part out. So that's something that's interesting about kitchen products, is that sometimes they're still associated with math. But anyway, let's get started on these s'mores because I'm too excited to eat them. Okay, so the first thing I look at when I am making a recipe, I'm going to pull it up on my laptop, so excuse me for that, is the ingredients and serving size. So the first thing I notice is that it makes 12 s'more cups. So that's 12 of these cups, which is a 3x4, so the area, or the amount in there would be 12, the area. So now I think that I could probably eat 6 of these, but I'm going to try to fight the urge. And I actually want to make a whole batch for my friends and family, and I also want to make not a whole batch for my roommates because I only have 3 other roommates and a couple for myself. So I think that in total I need 1 batch, which is 12, to give to my family. There's 9 of us, and then a couple batches for my close friends. So that would equal 1 whole batch. And then for my roommates, I don't think I need a whole 12, so I think I'm going to make half a batch. So I'm going to make, in total, 18 s'more cups. And then I'm going to show you how I figured out half of 12 was 6 so fast. Let me grab paper. Okay, so one way to solve for what half of 12 is by making a visual or drawing a picture. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a picture just like how the muffin tin is laid out. It's a 3x4. Okay, and then you can split them into 2 groups since you're cutting it in half or dividing by 2. So I'm going to go ahead and, instead of grouping them separate, which would be pretty easy, I can also label it. So this is 1, and this is going in group 2. It's going in group 1, group 2. And I'm going to continue to do this for the rest of the cups. And then I can simply just count how many 1s are there in the whole batch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means that 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Okay, so now since we solved for what half of 12 was, which was 6 to remind you, we're going to add that to a full batch, which is 12. So 12 plus 6 is 18. And that sounds just about right for me to share the dessert with my family, friends, and my roommates. So now I'm going to list off what the ingredients are for 1 whole batch, which, let me remind you, only makes 12. So that would include, for 12 s'more cups, it requires 2 cups of graham cracker crumbs, 1 stick of butter that's melted, a half cup of sugar, and then chocolate chips and marshmallows, but they don't have a measurement for those, so we're going to just do that. We're going to eyeball it and make sure it looks yummy with the amount that's on there. So to remind you, we are making 1.5 batches of s'more cups. So the first thing I'm going to prepare is the graham crackers, and I'm prepping my measurements so that I don't make any mistakes when I'm adding them and just going through the recipe. And it's also a lot quicker to have it prepared, so then you can just go ahead and crank out the recipe and get it in the oven. So I already crushed up some graham crackers, and as I was doing it, I was pressing down, and I would recommend maybe even using a rolling pin. It might make it a little bit faster than the method that I chose, but I'm going to go ahead and measure that. And like I said, it requires 2 cups of graham crackers. So that's for 1 batch. So for 12 s'more cups, it's going to require 2 cups of graham crackers. I think I might actually have to crush up some more, which is fine. Okay, so I'm measuring this now. Okay, so this, it looks like I used 6 cups or 6 graham crackers, and that only equaled 1 cup. So I think I'm gonna have to crush up some more, and now you get to watch me do that as well. Okay, so now that we crushed up some more graham crackers, I'm going to continue to measure for the 1 batch. So we already have a cup in here, and now, I'm getting crumbs everywhere. Mom's not gonna be happy. All right, so then I measured another 1 cup, and that's just for 1 recipe or 1 batch. So I used 2 cups, and using the same method that I show you to show what half of 12 was, I'm going to do that with the graham crackers. So say I have 2 cups, like we do. This is a 1/3 cup, where we're gonna pretend that's a full cup. And if I wanted to cut it into half or divide by 2, I could just group it separately. So then I know that I'm only gonna need 1 cup instead of 2 cups for half of a recipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue. I need to add 1 more cup for my half batch then. I'm just gonna put in this bowl then. Oh. All right, well, that's okay, because this is a cup without that anyway. So I will actually clean that up, and then we will continue. Alright, now that I cleaned up the mess I made, I am going to go ahead and figure out how much butter I need for 1.5 batches. So it says that it requires a whole stick of butter for 1 batch. Luckily, I love stick butter because it tells you, I'm going to show you, how many tablespoons are in 1. So I'm going to put it up close. Okay. So per tablespoon, which are these measurements, there are 8 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so then it's easy to look at this and figure out what half of it would equal. So if I divided 8 by 2, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is second group, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my halfway point. So I'm going to use Alright, now I'm back with my butter. So now I have to prepare my sugar. So I'm going to use a different bowl for this. This is my graham crackers and my butter. And this is going to be for my sugar. I need a 1/2 cup for 1 batch. And then I need a half of a cup. So I'm going to go ahead and measure the first one out. There's 1/2 cup. I'm going to put that in my bowl. And now I'm going to show you a way to find half of other fractions, because sometimes it's a little tricky. I'm going to use it using the reciprocal. So I'm going to go show you that now. Okay, so one way that we can find half of 1/2 is by multiplying by the reciprocal. What this means is, say I have 2, like ours. 2 is also equal to 2 over 1, because 2 over 1 is still 2 wholes over 1 part. Okay, so then the reciprocal is 1/2. It's when you flip the fraction. So I'm going to multiply 1/2, which is how much sugar I need, 1/2 cup, multiplied by another 1/2, because that's what the reciprocal of 2 is, and that's going to give me an answer of 1/4. So half of a batch would equal 1/4 a cup of sugar. Now when I look at 1/2, I notice that I can get a common denominator with 4. So if I multiplied 1/2 by 2 over 2, that equals 2/4 because they are equivalent fractions. So 2/4 plus 1/4 equals 3/4. So if I only wanted to dirty one measuring utensil, instead of using the half cup like I did earlier, I could have just used the 1/4 of a cup and measured it out 3 times, because then it would have given me 3/4 of a cup. So now I know that I need to add 1/4 of a cup to the half of the cup in the bowl already. Okay, so now I'm going to actually add the 1/4 of a cup. I'm just going to dip it in here. Okay. Here it goes. Okay. So now, other than the marshmallows and chocolate chips, we are all ready to start our ingredients and our recipe started putting together. So I'm going to do that, and you can just watch. Now look at these beautiful and yummy s'mores. They are gooey just like I like them, and I'm thankful for learning about fractions in school, because now I know how I can half a recipe or double a recipe if I need it. Math is truly used every day, and I'm thankful for my math experiences in school.